I don't know if you heard, but on Facebook, a certain man accused me of being a quote, borderline white supremacist. I made a video response, and wouldn't you know, he deleted the post. Actually, he pretty much nuked the account, scrubbed 2 years worth of posts, but he left us with this gem. Captain America saying, "The strong protect the weak. Never forget that." Of course they do, Mark Wade. That's why strong men like you delete all your posts when you get called out. But you know, Mark, the internet never forgets, and neither do I. You still owe me an apology. 1 for calling me a quote borderline white supremacist, and 2 for co-writing this ridiculous comic. Oh, and since you don't like me editing the text from the panels, here's a nice clear shot of the thumbnail so you can spread it around to all your little sycophants. Now, let's all sit back and enjoy as more people watch this video than will ever read Ignited. Oh boy, we're 3 books in and I still have no idea what these present day scenes are about. They don't seem to push the story, they don't reveal anything important about the characters, and they don't match up with the general plot. For example, the book begins with white bitch stealing guns from a lawful firearm retailer, and then jumps back to our would-be heroes being held at bay by the cops after these little Antifa wannabes attack their fellow classmates. There's no connection with these 2 scenes. What are we supposed to get from this? That white bitch doesn't like guns? The standoff covers that. There needs to be something at least thematically justifying the time jumps, but there isn't. They're just there. Almost like someone thought it was clever, but doesn't know how to make it work. Whoever could that be? Now, we're supposed to sympathize with the little Antifa wannabes because white bitch thinks about school shooting, but it's hard to sympathize when she and the other mini terrorists basically did the same thing. She begs for somebody to do something, so the kid who turns into AOL signals blows up the officers' radios and destroys the electronics in the squad cars. Excellent work, my electronic Jewish Ethiopian brother. Now you can add destroying state property and assaulting an officer to your many acts of terrorism. I know the way. Antifa forever. Then we get the dumbest panel sequence I've seen in a while. Not since Black as Fuck Devils Die have I seen anything this stupid. And of course it's written by the same person. Jiminy Christmas, Hanukkah Schwartzman, Kwanzaa Sejefo, Fake Holiday, one of those. Honestly, I don't really know who's to blame here, Wade, Kwanzaa, or the artist Phil Briones, because this shit is just ridiculous. The kids attack the cops, and the sex offender in the Gimp mask says, "No one's looking at us. Run." But white boy is looking dead at you. And so is that white boy, and that white boy, and the ginger, and Korean Hulk, and the white girl giving y'all the side eye, and Shang-Chi checking out white bitch's flat ass. Literally everyone with eyes is looking dead at you. None of y'all saw this when Phil turned in the pages. All of you overlooked that every single person in the panel is looking at him. What, did you change the dialogue and forget to tell them? Cause it's not a mistake. All these people are intentionally drawn to look at them. So what happened, besides apparently no one editing the book? So then the Antifa wannabes write off the cops showing up after they attack their fellow students as just, quote, a bunch of adults pissed at us. What's new? You trying to kill other students? Oh, wait, that already happened. Maybe that's why the cops are pissed. Here's some more kids threatening their classmates with violence. Then the kids take off their masks and the sex offender says, all they really saw was our masks. Really? Cause I seem to remember them being about 10 feet away from you with a clear view of your clothes which you're all still fucking wearing. Jesus Christ. At least knock off Lestat and the sex offender had the sense to wear generic clothes, but white bitch, she's dressed like an orange honeybee. Yeah, that's a great idea. Commit an act of terrorism in easily identifiable clothing. They'll never be able to find you. Then Lestat's mom shows up, she's a sheriff, and she rags on the cops for pointing their guns at the kids who are attacking the other children, cause that's really the problem. It's not the kids terrorizing the student body. Again. Oh no. It's the cops pointing their guns at the attackers, and that's bad because it might trigger them, what with them being survivors of the school shooting. I love the brilliance of this. Don't even draw your weapons as a deterrent, just let the kids attack, possibly kill the other students because guns are bad or whatever the retarded message is supposed to be. I don't know, because we're 3 issues in, and they still haven't gotten to the fucking point. So then the kids run away and we find out a little more about how they got their powers. They also mention a grief counselor named Dr. Chow that they all saw and told their secret. And it's implied that she may have stopped them from being able to speak about their powers. This takes up about 12 pages of the comic. Just one massive info dump before the climax where radio sends everybody a video showing that there's going to be a pro-gun rally at the high school with as many as 500 armed activists. Terrifying. Probably not as terrifying as razor sharp gay origami appearing out of thin air and slashing everyone's hands and faces, or some jackass showing up in a tank, but you know, same difference. And I love the little red armbands with the symbol I'm just going to assume is supposed to be something related to white supremacy because that's what Wade and Kwanzaa like to do. By the way, nice job at not taking a jab at Jawbreakers, you lazy bastards. It's literally there for the taking, but you didn't do it. Then again, it is hard to parody a superior work. But can I ask a technical question? What is going on with this woman's titties? It's like she's got 2 clavicles, or the saggiest boobs ever. They're still supple and juicy, but they're pulling at that rib cage, and now you can see that 5th rib sticking out. Nobody saw that. It looks like it's a coloring mistake, but it's one that someone, like an editor, should have caught. So that's issue 3 of Ignited, and if I remember right, there are only 4 issues to the series, so this is the big build up to issue 4. This is the climax of the story, and if you couldn't tell that this was plotted by Kwanzaa before, this issue should give it away. The entire point of this book seems to have these kids, quote, push back against pro-gun activists, but there's no build up to this, there's no justification. So far, we've only seen things from the kids' perspectives, and all their actions are proactive and against their fellow students and teachers, not guns rights people. This would be like the Black Panthers attacking their black neighbors to push back against racism. It makes no sense. None at all. Which is probably why nobody reads this book. I think me and DNC are the only ones even reviewing the damn thing. And that makes Wade spazzing out on Facebook all the more ironic because a lot of the people kissing Wade's downy soft ass said that they were going to buy the book. Going to. The book's been out for 3 months. Wade and Kwanzaa did like a dozen interviews. If you follow Wade on Facebook, he promoted it on his page before he nuked the damn thing. You're such a fan that now you're going to buy the book? You weren't interested even with all the promotions or the wokeness? No, that didn't bring it out yet. You weren't interested until someone criticized the book. Spoken like true fans. Sycophants. I said it as a joke at the beginning of the video, but it's probably true. More people have watched my videos about this comic than have actually read the book. All those people supporting Wade supported him, but not enough to give up the cash. And that's the real problem with the industry right now. All the virtue signaling doesn't result in sales, and neither does exploiting a tragedy. You'd think people, Kwanzaa in particular, would realize this by now, what with all the failures, but they keep doing the same thing over and over again. How many times do you need to see the same thing fail before you move on? It's like you're not interested in telling stories or building an audience, just getting recognition. That doesn't sell comics, and it doesn't help the industry. You're not bringing in a new audience, and you're not keeping the ones already here. You know what we need? We need a Gordon Ramsay of comic books. Someone to just come in and go, it's fucking raw! But what do I know? I'm just some guy.